Hey guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the review for you of the SlingBox 350. This is the little brother to the SlingBox 500, but still presents its major feature, and that is to allow you to watch TV from anywhere. And this will set you back at just $179.99. This is a system that goes in between your cable box and your TV, allowing you to stream the signal to a mobile device, whether it's your phone or your tablet running Android or iOS, and you can also universally access it on any computer. All you gotta do is sign into your account associated with the SlingBox itself, and you're good to go. You've got full signal to your video. It also enables you to change the channel and all the things you'll be able to typically do on your TV, but from a mobile device, which makes it very convenient for people who can't always be sitting down in front of the TV and watching a TV show. But for me, it has become very handy to have it playing on my iPad, whether I'm eating or if I'm actually editing on the computer, doing other homework, and just having the TV there is just extremely handy. With the SlingBox 350, one of the differences between its 500 is that it doesn't have Wi-Fi capability. Instead, it uses Ethernet that plugs straight into your router, and that is what it's going to use to stream the signal. And the setup is actually rather simple. They provide full instructions inside the manual, and all you got to do is connect the appropriate cables that are also included to your TV and your cable box, and set it up through your computer, and you're all good to go. Inside the box, you're given pretty much everything. You don't have to supply any of your own cables, which is really good for SlingBox to do. You're given a quick start guide, the SlingBox 350 of course, the power adapter, an Ethernet cable, a composite video cable, component video cable, a stereo audio cable, and an IR emitter cable. This does not include the remote that is only included in the SlingBox 500. The SlingBox 350 itself is very small and very light, but I imagine you won't have to be carrying this around, so that really isn't an issue. But in your home theater setup, this thing will look very stylish. It would definitely stand out, especially under light. You can see the nice textured design to it going throughout the device, and it kind of reminds me of the design of the Jawbone Jambox. Overall, in the SlingBox 350, it is extremely simple operation. There really isn't any buttons to it. On the front, you've got a little light indicator to tell you when it is on, but once you've got everything hooked up, especially with the 350, a lot of the stuff is just going to be running over the internet, and the settings will also be configured there. So here, looking at the back, there's the inputs and your outputs. You've got the video and the audio there. Like I said, this goes in between your cable box and your TV, so a set of cables will be going to your TV and a set will be coming from your cable box to bring the content here. And there isn't actually HDMI in the 350, that is only on the 500, but you don't need to worry, there will still be some full HD video capabilities through the component cable, and that is actually the cable I recommend using, because through HDMI there are some copyright restrictions that might disable certain content from being streamed to this, so from using the component cable you won't have to worry about those issues. You also see a USB to be able to stream your content through the cloud. I haven't actually used that a lot. There's your network cable, and through Ethernet, if you have a router right next to this will be probably the best version to go with, especially because it's significantly cheaper than the SlingBox 500, because a wired network will just give you a much more reliable signal. So now we're actually going to go through the app interface. There is the app for the iPad, the iPhone, and also the Android devices. So here you can see in the main menu, when you first open up the app, there is the channel guide, and it makes it very easy to set up with your different providers and also your actual cable box. So it has really nice compatibility. I definitely didn't notice any issues with that. You just need to hit the connect button and your videos will start playing right away. And I'm just going to take you through the user interface, all the settings you're able to configure, and of course network reliability is very important when using this device, as you do have to stream to a device and receive it. So in my case, I have a pretty solid network signal. I actually have two different networks, so the bandwidth really isn't a huge issue. So you can see here that the content plays extremely smoothly. All the videos look very crisp and clear, as if you're playing it on a TV, and you can see the video just plays flawlessly. So when you tap the screen, you're given a whole user interface of all these things you're able to configure and change based on your settings. So hitting the guide, you can see it brings up all your channels. Right now it doesn't show, as my carrier TELUS recently just changed up all the numbers, which is pretty annoying. There's also some control for the quality, HD, auto, standard. Like I said, it does depend on your network reliability. You can also very easily stream these to your Apple TV. So upstairs, where I do not have a cable box, I'm able to stream the game to my big screen TV, which works very well. You've also got the input there. So like I said, I am using component as that is probably the best option for HD video. You can also share the shows you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, social networks, and I'm not really sure why you do that, but I guess that is there if you need it. There's also a quick dial pad to set your channels. You just need to type it in and it lets you change channels very easily. And you can also bring up the remote. I did select the model of the remote that came with my cable box, and it is absolutely identical. You can see every single button, the shape of it, everything looks exactly the same, and I'm actually quite impressed by what they did in the remote itself. So one thing you do have to come to understand is that this is just streaming the content. If somebody was to turn on the TV and change the channel to the channel they want to watch, the person who's streaming it from any device will also see the channel that has just been switched to. On the other hand, if you're to switch back the channel, the person downstairs watching it on the TV will see that too. So in my case, there usually isn't anybody watching TV, so I don't really have that issue. I'm pretty much the only one using it from the SlingBox. But for somebody who has someone who usually sits in front of the TV and watches a different channel as you might want to consider that. So you can see that the channels are very easy to switch. It is overall pretty fast. It just takes a few seconds and there you go. So I just switched back to the game here, and you can see that the video quality, like I said, this thing just works flawlessly, but again, it does rely partly on your network signal, and in my case, if the Wi-Fi is good, I have no problem using this, and I've been using it for quite a while, especially with the SlingBox 500 over the past few months. So the situation on mobile devices, especially the iPhone here, is pretty much the same. In the main menu, you've got your settings to control the different quality options. You've also got your directory of devices, as some people might have more than one device. There's also your channel guide right there. Going back to the main menu, let's hit the connect button, and that will take us to our TV show. And in this case, it is the MLB World Series. I don't actually watch much baseball, by the way. And you can see that the smaller screen is still able to have all the different features you may need and the settings. You've got the menu right there to control between your channels. It does kind of overlay, and you've also got your favorite channels, so you could set your channels that you want to very quickly access. And also you still have the remote in case you need that. And you can also set your video quality, whether you're on cellular data or on Wi-Fi. I recommend if you're running on data that you play it in standard quality, as HD would definitely take up quite a bit of your monthly storage. You've also got your main menu there with your play, pause options, and also your streaming options. But I definitely say SlingBox has done a very good job with the app. They're actually constantly updating it to fix bugs, enable some better streaming, and just some optimizations here and there. And in just a few months I've been using SlingBox, I gotta say they've actually come a long way in the app. It actually works very well and much better than I thought. So there's just a D-pad if you want to change the channel. So all your options in general are still on your mobile device. The third and final way to watch your SlingBox from anywhere is on your computer, of course. You just got to sign in using the SlingBox directory. You've got your SlingBox there, and you can see that the content plays flawlessly. You will have to install a driver, but that should be no problem for anybody. And here it gives you the, I would say, widest interface in terms of the settings. You've got your D-pad there. You've also got all your settings that you can still control like we saw on the mobile devices. There's just your main menu, but none of that actually overlays over the screen. So I think the most enjoyable experience will be on the computer, but I imagine most people will be watching this from their tablet. You can also have different channel guides there, so that will show all your different channels. Here you can see it actually retrieves it very fast, and it gives you a whole schedule of when your TV shows will be playing in your time zone. There's also the remote. Like I said, it looks pretty much identical to the actual remote, which I was actually pretty amazed about when I first saw. You can also have it in a pop-up menu, so not have it in your web browser, but have it as a pop-up menu that you can actually drag around your desktop, and you can also view it in full screen, of course. So that is just the interface on the computer. So up to this time in the review, I've pretty much been saying all good things about the SlingBox, but the one thing I absolutely hate about it is the fact that it costs $15 just for the app. In fact, it costs $15 for the iPhone app. You're going to have to pay another $15 for the iPad app, so that's about an extra $30. And I do say that it works very well, and I know that Sling is always trying to optimize the app and stuff, but the fact that you're already paying for the device, I would expect that there would at least be a coupon code included with the SlingBox in order to get the app for free, as it is pretty much needed, as for the most part people want this to watch us on their mobile devices. So that is really the one and largest complaint I have about the SlingBox. So when it comes to the biggest differences between the SlingBox 350 and the 500 is the Wi-Fi. If you have the SlingBox 350, you must have a router within distance to be able to plug it in wired, as it does not have wireless capability. So in my case, where my router is very far away from where my home theater setup is, I do have to buy the SlingBox 500, and also the fact that it has HDMI. But for the most part, you shouldn't have any issue with component, as most modern TVs have that now, and it still allows this thing to play in full HD. The SlingBox 500 also allows you to configure the settings on screen with the remote. However, if you do not need that feature, if you don't mind just controlling the settings from your computer, and you do have a router within reach of your home theater setup, you can definitely save $120 while still having all the principal features on the SlingBox 350. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and a big thanks to SlingBox for setting this out for reviewing purposes, and the links will be right under the like button as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.